This YouTube thing, I don't know why I'm doing it. I have another channel where I uploaded like 5 years ago. God damn, it's been 5 years. I started at like June 2020, and then I uploaded every month, I think, every couple of months. Like my progress learning Korean. Because it was the pandemic and like high school stuff, and I got like so much time. And that was really fun. That was like, the first time I learned like a foreign language consciously, because English is my third language, right? Because I'm not American, so it's normal here to speak more than one language. And what I learned from that experience of like learning Korean and starting that YouTube channel was that there was a lot of accountability. So that's why I am making this video and like trying to like upload on YouTube. Is because like whatever happens, like if I just stick to it, I know that I'm gonna learn something from it. And that's been the case with like working out. I've been working out for like a year now, like 13 months. And I went from not being able to do pull-ups to like 5 sets of like 5 reps of like my body weight, which is 71 kilograms. It's crazy. Like the difference in strength. I don't really notice that on the muscle size things, except for like the size of like my chest or something. And I only do I do everything at home because I'm not willing to like go to the gym due to the price, obviously. Because I really want to lower like all of my expenses to just food and like some other stuff, like what is the classic grinding stuff. For what reason? I don't know for what reason. Money, obviously. Again, back to the point of like not being a failure, but also because why not? Like I don't need that much stuff. I don't need the latest smartphone or most powerful computer, like a laptop. I don't have a laptop. My laptop is like 10 years old. I have Arch Linux on it, and then I switched to Archie a couple of weeks ago. A couple of days ago, actually. Wait, like 2 weeks ago? Something like that. And I also, like my computer is also 5 years old, and my phone is like 6 years old. So like basically like this theme, like this video is about like what I'm dealing with, and the theme of like what does it take to win? Like what does it take to to be 30 years old and I don't regret my life choices, is what I'm trying to say here. So I'm already 22. I'm about to be 22, and that is the first thing in my mind. Like I do not want to be. I saw this dude. Forgot his name. I subscribed and liked the video immediately. This guy's like 35 or something. He made a video how he ended up where he is. And it's not like a failure. You could go worse, obviously. You can go as bad as like being a drug dealer or going to jail or get the death penalty, or being an idiot and like do some bad stuff at a high school with a gun, right? You could go worse than being like a normal failure, like the modern sense of the word. And what he is, he's alive. What he did was that he worked at a store, I think. And the only reason why he got there is because his mom is either the owner or someone who has a high position there, so you could do some sort of nepotism. And he worked there for like 10 years. Never dated people. Just played video games and all that stuff, and he's like 35 now. And he's not like that bad in the video. He's trying to better himself, and it's really hard to do. I'm not downplaying any of this. I'm not making this video like to mock people. Oh, you're 30, you wasted your life. I'm not saying that, because we're all different. It's really, really hard. Like it's insanely hard. There's this guy. I used to watch his videos when I was learning how to go. Brad Traversy, and did a couple of his courses back then. So I can go right now because like, if it weren't for him, I definitely couldn't go. And got my God bless him. And he used to be either a drug seller or a drug addict. I think both, actually. And he went to jail for like at least a year, maybe like 3 years. And then when he met his wife and had a kid, he's like, I gotta fix myself. I gotta better myself. And the majority of people are not like that, obviously. Even in America, with the highest incarceration rate in the planet. 95 out of 100 people are still normal human beings, psychologically normal at least, obviously. And we can all, to our heart's content, blame our past, our parents, family, school, government, whatever bad thing happened with your uncle when you were 8, or your brother abused you, or your dad went to buy milk at the store and you never came back, divorce, that kind of thing, physical abuse, bullying. All all these things can happen to all of us, right? And I'm not saying that as a, again, I'm not downplaying the situation for a lot of people, but I am so privileged that I'm not like that, right? I think most people are not like that. We have not that much money, not that little either, right? I mean, if you can watch this video, you can understand what I'm saying. You're at least in the top 90th percentile in the world, because we have about 8 billion people. Let's just say 4 billion is in a developing country. 2 billion is in a very, very poor country, and then the rest 2 billion is in, you know, the developed countries of the world. So like, you know, OECD, European Union, plus East Asian states and, you know, North America, which is just Canada and the United States. That's it, right? And Australia and New Zealand, obviously, but, you know, it's very small. And so, given that fact, like, how do you not be a failure? Like, if you have all of these advantages and privileges, if you have all of these things at your disposal, the ability to learn, to read, to write, AI, ChatGPT, internet, all these things, computers. I like this saying that Naval Ravikant said that you need to build leverage, and the easiest form of leverage is coding media. Hence why Exhibit A, you know, this video and my website. And two more things. He said labor and capital. Labor is people working for you, obviously, and then capital, which is, you know, if you have money, anyone with the brain of a crap can hopefully not everyone, obviously, can utilize like $10 million and not having to work again, right? And so, like, if you start with $10 million and you have to, and if you lose all of that money, I mean, at that point, that's just natural selection, you know? Like that's your fault. There's no other way to say that. Oh, seriously, you were given $10 million and you're gonna lose it. Like, what did you buy? Like, what did you do? I put all of it into crypto. Anyway, so that's like one branch of it. Like, money obviously is important. I believe the latest number, which, you know, the most often cited number is like $75,000, something like that. The actual number is 400,000, but that's only because I like what Alex Hormozi said about this. He said that it's 400,000 because the majority of people do not know how to spend like more than $400,000 a year. In a sense, like, I also have thought about this too. Like, if I were given $100 million, $10 million, I 100% would run out of things to do in less than 6 months, maybe a year if I'm lucky. You know, the typical things that people want to do, you know, travel, buy really nice like sports cars, buy a house. But after that, like, what you gonna do? Like, buying things can only get you so far in life, you know. After the house, the car, all the gadgets, computers, all these things that you want to buy. After all of that, like you ran out of things to do. Like, I personally ran out of things to do. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be less than 6 months, because I actually have a list of the things that I want to do if I have money, and the things, you know, the places that I want to go to, and that's all, you know. Even if it takes time, like, it's gonna be less than 1 year. It's 100% gonna take less than 1 year. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be left with like maybe $6, $7, $8 million in the bank, and I'm gonna be like, what am I gonna do with this much money? Like, I don't know. And so that's the thing. It scales exponentially. So what I mean by this is that we know that, like, for basic living in modern era, in developing or even developed countries, it's probably less than $50,000 a year. Like, I mean, if you need more than $50,000 a year to live, like, to not die, you know, food, shelter, electricity, Wi-Fi, that kind of thing, water, clean water, it's probably less than 50,000, right? I mean, sure, you're not gonna live in a nice apartment. It's gonna be like a warehouse, but, or, you know, like the classic young person, you know, split the bill for like 6 people, and you probably could spend way less than, you know, $50,000 a year to just stay alive. So the difference, that's what matters. Like, what do you do with the rest of the money? If 50,000 is just the bare minimum to not live, to not die and to stay alive, that means that the goal in life is just that. I mean, I like this one again. Naval Ravikant said, the only true test of intelligence if you get what you want out of life, whatever that might be. And clearly we know that you don't need more than $50,000 a year to live. And so, 2 questions here. One, you know, the quest for fulfillment, meaning, and happiness, obviously. Given, you know, the modern era, like, there's so many things that you could care about. You could care about climate change. You could care about the war in certain parts of Middle East or Africa. You could care about your family. You could care about leaving a mark in the world and a legacy, whatever that might be. And the second one would be how do you get there? As efficiently, as quickly as possible. Even though quick probably means like 10 years. There's no quick just like 18 months. There's no way that's true. You know, I also, again, like what, I forgot what I said, but like, if someone is selling you something like to get rich quickly, then that means that means you're the product, and you're being scammed. I like that. And it's probably true, because if it were that easy, then everyone would have done it. That's why I really do not like this crypto crowd, because even if it's true, like, even if right now you're doing all these things, you're just spending like 20 hours a week studying and researching cryptos and all these things. Even if it were true, you're putting money in the wrong place, because that much investment in time. If you're the ultimate product, like why not just learn how to cut it and then make money that way more sustainable? And also, the crypto part is really silly, because even if it's true, like you do not want to do that, because if I put like, I don't know, $10,000 right now, and then in 60 months, 80 months, I'm gonna be a billionaire. Wouldn't everyone do that? Like, I don't know what I'm saying right now. It's 9 p.m. but yeah, I'm not making sense. Anyway, basically, anything that's quick is definitely a scam. If it were easy, everyone would have done it, obviously. So that's not a path. And so for me, I know, especially the last 36 months of my life has been, how do I not waste my life? And I've been wasting it. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. Like look at this video. If you're listening to this far, it's like 14 minutes, unedited. You must be thinking, "Oh, this guy's weird. This guy's an idiot." But it might be true. I don't know. But I don't care, obviously, what everyone says, because, well, I mean, you're not my mom, but also, I don't even care about what I say sometimes. You know, like I'm not making sense, right? If I were to explain myself, we'd both be confused, because I don't understand what I'm saying like half the time. And yeah, so that's this video. I've been thinking a lot about that, because money, $50,000 a year, okay, you reach that number in the next 10 years, and then what? You know, escape velocity number, escape number. That's what MJ DeMarco in his book Millionaire Fastly talk about. What is the amount of money where the annual expected return is above what you make, what you want to pull from it, such that you don't have to work anymore, because that math is possible given our modern economy. And you know, let's say you want like $100,000 a year, which is too much, by the way, because that's 100,000 of pure disposable income where you can spend it, not like income before expenditure. You just have to times that number by 25. So what? That's 2.5 million, I think. 20 million. I don't know. My math is shaky because it's 9 p.m. Which is not that night, but actually, I fixed my sleep like a month ago. I wake up at 6 a.m. every day, and that's been an achievement after 10 years of waking up at erratic times. Anyway, whatever that number is, 2 million or 20 million, it's probably 20 million, because 10 is a million, so 20, that's so 25 million dollars. You can take 4% of it, right? This is the classic, you know, FU money calculation, because the average return in the S&P 500 is like at least 8% over the past 100 years, 50 years. And so if you have $20 million, you don't have to work anymore. So that's the number that you want to aim, right? And so I've calculated my own numbers way less than 20 million, obviously, because I live in Indonesia, and the net difference is huge. It doesn't cost that much to live in here. But let's say I reach that number, and there's a chance I could reach that number, even without starting a business. Even with being an employee, it's probably gonna be less than 20 years of working. If you're not an idiot, but you have to live very frugally. So that's why, you know, going into the offense is much better, because you compress this much work in like less than 15 years. If you're not that stupid, if you're really willing to work hard, I've heard that it's gonna take less than 10 years. And so I'm willing to put that bet. Like this channel, everything that I put on the internet, my whole life, will be a testament to that, because I've never seen anyone actually do it in my vicinity. I've seen people do it like in my country, obviously, because entrepreneurs exist everywhere. There will always be that one person who started a business, which just can't take authority and, you know, work a salary job. Being a wagey, that's what they call it. And I'm probably one of these people, because I can't imagine my life I totally cannot imagine my life in the next 20 years or something, just going 9 to 5. I would rather die. Why? Why? Because I know so much about the world, and I want to go there and like experience it. Like I've read so many books. Obviously, I've always wanted to go like abroad and like meet people. No, not going abroad itself. Like eating good food, look at the scenery. Maybe yeah, that's like 10% of it. 90% of it is just meeting people who I could vibe with, who shares my values, and who could understand me. You know, because one of the biggest problems with, I think, Alain de Botton, the founder of School of Life, he's a British Swiss philosopher, really amazing author. I love all of his books. He said that the goal in life, like what people pursue when they are older, is what they were doing and what they were dreaming, or the questions that they have about the world when they were 16 or 17. And that, I mean, I think that's definitely true. I mean, if you look at all these billionaires, for example, they've been coding or loving to build things since they were like 9 years old, and so like every single one of us have our own obsessions. I have a lot of obsessions with reading, history, economics, languages. I love learning foreign languages. Some people love coding. Some people love music. I know someone who really loves music. I know someone who really loves like sports and all that kind of stuff. And so you can't really. I mean, not everyone can play in the NBA or become an Olympic athlete. That's a very 0.1% job. But we can structure our life in such a way that that is part of your life, because that's what excites you to stay alive, right? And I would say getting closer to that, whatever form that might be. Obviously, I don't know what it would look like. I can't predict the future. But a life that is well lived is a life that gets closer and closer to that. More hours spent on things that you like than the things that you don't like. And so even if you have a job, like you don't want to be an entrepreneur, that's totally fine. But it's reasonable to expect in your career that you could find a job where you would enjoy the office politics, where you would enjoy working there, where you think that your work contributes meaning to society, and of course you earn enough money to sustain your cost of living, way of living, and also if you have a family or a kid, you have children, you could pay them, you could pay their tuition, right, and that kind of stuff. Like you need that, obviously. I believe you need to. What was the core components? You need friends. You need family, people who care about you. You need money, obviously, because you have to pay the rent. Like anything above that is just like a choice. And for someone that is young, we can start building all of this at once, actually. But obviously, the most important is money, because if you don't have the money part, it's really hard to do the other ones. I really like what Scott Galloway said. He's a professor of business, I think, at NYU Stern. I've read both of his books, Algebra of Wealth and Algebra of Happiness. And he has the most realistic view of money and business in everyone that I've listened, probably, because he's not like too entrepreneurship-ish as a person. He's also not very polar on the like political spectrum. He's not too left, he's not too right. He's obviously left-leaning. He definitely voted for the Democratic Party in America, but not that I care. I'm like half a world away from these people. I don't care about American politics at all. But the reason why he has the best view is because he's not on the right. Because if you're on the right, you're going to be like, the government is stealing my money through taxes, and we should have small government and all these things. And if you're too far to the left, you're like, entrepreneurship is evil, capitalism is evil, that kind of thing. He's like in the middle, a bit to the left. And so he's like, we all need money, right? Whatever ways you can get it, business, being the number 200 at Facebook, that kind of thing. You have to make it. And the essential of a good person, he talked about it more in the sense of, the young males, obviously, his target audience, because of, this is very trending in American intellectual circles, talking about the decline of American males, the quality, quote unquote, quality of American males, but also the, what's the word? Like, there's just less men joining the military, less men finishing college, less men being educated, men make less money, that kind of thing. That's really sad, obviously. I don't think it's just happening in America, because that's the same case is happening in South Korea, but as far as I'm concerned, and Japan, obviously, and China to some extent. But the gist is that if you're young, you should at least have that. People who care about you, even just one person, or even your family. Or at least you should care about yourself. That's one thing, obviously. 2, You need to be able to pay the bills. We're not asking you to be a billionaire with a yacht and a private jet and a huge mansion. No, we're asking you to not be in debt, right? We're asking you to be a good member of society, whatever ways you can contribute, paying taxes, being good to your neighbor, that kind of thing. And you have to be reasonably healthy, right? Eat good food, not addicted to alcohol or drugs. Like, that's the bare minimum. But you'd be surprised how many people it's not even on this category, because, you know, the quip, the saying, which is like half true actually, that the majority of Americans, the average American, picture the average American. The answer is someone who's in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, obese, divorced, depressed all the time. And so that's bleak. That's very bleak, but I think that paints a really clear picture on everyone else in the world. Not even just America, but like, I don't know, I could talk about this for hours. It's like 25 minutes now. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on life, and things that have been on my mind. Why I'm making this channel, to be accountable, to be more productive, honestly, because I believe, like, if I'm able to do this for a long time, I know that at the very least when I'm like 30, I'm gonna be able to, like, I've already been doing this like privately. I don't, like, in my computer I have a lot of recordings all the way back to like 2017 when I was 13 years old, and it's very weird, like, listening to my old voice. And, I don't have the time to listen to it. So like, I think a couple of weeks ago I put all of that into Whisper, which is this model for audio transcription from OpenAI. Not model, what's the word? I forgot. And it transcribed all of it decently, like 90%-ish perfect, because I spoke in English, so it's good at taking all the words. And I just dumped all of that into AI and summarized all the things that I talk about. And I read all of it. It took me like 3 hours to read, you know, that much recording for the past 8 years of my life. And, you know, my views has changed a lot, and it will continue to change. And actually I want to share it so that people might learn from it. And also, obviously, it's a good way to document my life. I don't have that much documents of my life. I don't take pictures that much. I'm trying to fix that. And yeah, that's why this channel exists, and what I'm about to do in the coming future. And this is not like some grand gesture or scheme of things, like, oh, I'm gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be one of those like just so you see I'm gonna be successful, like that kind of thing. I don't care about that. At this point in my life, like, I'm so done with all these grand goals, like objectives, and of course I still have goals, like, for my life, but I don't care anymore about the grand gestures, like, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire by 30, or I'm gonna lose 10 pounds in the next 6 months, or I'm gonna change my life, read 100 books a day, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not trying to do that. It's like one small thing that I could do better than yesterday, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that we can do, you know? Like, we're in the present. The future is undecided. The past we can only learn from, right? Regret and all these things that we do in life. That's the only thing you can do, is the present. The next 1 minute, the next 10 minutes, the next 10 hours. What can I do to make progress with the goals that matters to me? To not repeat the mistakes that I made in the past. To not regret the decisions that I made, right? You could argue whether free will exists or not. I don't care about whether that actually exists or not. Although I'm convinced it doesn't exist, but that's a different topic for another video. And so, this is it. Just tick tock, this is it. This is life. That's what I've been internalizing the past quarter, the past 3 months. Like, I wrote a lot on paper or in my Obsidian vault. And, you know, I wrote a lot about, like, what I think. And the reason why I'm doing that is not because I want to be a philosopher and all these things. Very cringy content. God, everything on the internet is very cringy. Except me, obviously. And, thought about that a lot. Like, what exactly matters in life? Yeah, besides what I just talked about. Money, friendship, family. Like, once you have that, like, what exactly are you supposed to do? What do you want to be in life? And the answer is completely different for everyone. So I'm trying to answer that for me through, you know, the works that I'm making, through the internet, YouTube, and my website, and all these places in the future. Hopefully, it's just fun to do anyway. I mean, maybe I make money from it. I don't know. And so it's just that, like, how do we get better? What's the 1% improvement? How can I be better next month than the previous month? It's okay to take 3 steps forward, but you take like 5 steps forward and then like 3 steps back. But in aggregate, you still move 2 steps forward, and you just keep doing that. Rest assured, when you're 30, you're not gonna regret your life. you're 40, you're gonna be content with your choices. And when you're 60, 70, 80, when you're deathbed, you're gonna be like, I'm grateful for what I have. I believe Benjamin Franklin wrote that on his autobiography, or like on his deathbed or something like that. He said that, God, I'm grateful for the life that you've been given, that you've given to me, and the opportunity that I had. Now, not all of us can be, Benjamin Franklin, obviously. And whether you believe in God or not, that is still a problem. Like what you gonna do if I were to give you $10 million? Oh, the average person, including me, obviously. Again, after 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, whatever is your time frame, they will run out of things to do, and they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, I have so much money. What am I supposed to do with this?" That's the answer. That's the most important thing in life. The most important thing in life is whether to commit, not living. That's what Albert Camus wrote on the opening of The Myth of Sisyphus. Absolutely amazing book. He also wrote, the meaning of life is whatever you're doing that is preventing you from committing not being alive. And it's true. And yeah, hopefully I could figure that out together. We'll figure that out together in this channel for my 46 viewers from my previous video and my 60 subscribers as of this recording. We're gonna do this together. All 16 of us. Isn't that fun? You're gonna join the adventure, and you're at the beginning of the adventure. Oh, we're gonna do this together. It's gonna be so fun. Right. Peace out. It's 9:30, and yeah, I got more YouTube videos and Netflix shows to watch, to binge watch until I fall asleep and cry, and then I wake up and I'm gonna be like, oh no, I wake up again. Why am I awake? And but we'll figure it out together. We'll figure it out together. That's the point. You gotta keep playing the game. You don't quit, right? If you don't quit, you're gonna get there. Might take you 3 lifetimes, but at least you don't quit, right? So yeah.